They paid him a janitor's salary to develop a surgery that saved thousands of lives, then left his name off the paper. In 1930, Vivien Thomas was a 19-year-old black man in Nashville with a dream to become a doctor. He'd saved every penny working as a carpenter's apprentice. Then the stock market crashed and wiped it all out. Desperate for work, he took a lab assistant job at Vanderbilt University for $12 a week. 16-hour days, classified as a janitor. He never made it back to school, but what he did instead changed medicine forever. According to Johns Hopkins Medical Archives, Thomas's boss, Dr. Alfred Blalock, quickly realized he'd found something rare, a surgical genius with hands more skilled than most trained surgeons. In 1941, when Blalock was offered the position of chief of surgery at Johns Hopkins, he accepted on one condition: Vivien Thomas had to come with him. But at Johns Hopkins, the grandson of an enslaved person couldn't enter through the front door. He was paid a janitor's wage, while white men doing the same job made significantly more. He couldn't wear his white lab coat in the hallways because it caused too much attention. Baltimore's segregation was worse than anything he'd endured in Nashville. Then in 1943, pediatric cardiologist Dr. Helen Taussig approached Blalock about blue baby syndrome, a fatal heart defect called Tetralogy of Fallot that turned infants blue and condemned them to early death. Blalock turned to Thomas, solve this. For nearly 2 years, Thomas operated on 200 dogs, recreating the heart defect, developing surgical instruments by hand when none existed, and perfecting a technique to repair it. He became so skilled that when Blalock examined one of Thomas's suture lines, he reportedly said, "Vivien, this looks like something the Lord made." November 29, 1944. Eileen Saxon, an 18-month-old baby weighing just 9 pounds, lay dying on an operating table. Blalock had performed this surgery exactly once before, on a dog. Thomas had done it hundreds of times. According to historical accounts documented by Johns Hopkins, Thomas stood on a step stool behind Blalock, coaching him through every cut, every stitch. "Is that all right, Vivien?" Blalock would ask. "Are the sutures close enough together?" 90 minutes later, when they removed the clamps, the baby's lips turned from blue to pink. Thomas wrote, "You have never seen anything so dramatic. It was almost a miracle." The surgery was a success. Within 1 year, they performed the procedure on more than 200 babies. Parents traveled thousands of miles to Johns Hopkins, bringing dying children for the operation that would become known worldwide as the Blalock-Taussig shunt. But Thomas's name wasn't on the paper. Time magazine in 1945 praised Blalock and Taussig. No mention of Thomas. Photos of the surgical team excluded him. For decades, the world didn't know. Yet inside Johns Hopkins, Thomas became a legend. Cardiac surgeon Dr. Denton Cooley, who watched that first surgery, later said, "There wasn't a false move, not a wasted motion when he operated. Even if you'd never seen surgery before, you could do it because Vivien made it look so simple." Thomas trained generations of the world's most famous heart surgeons for 35 years. They called him the best surgeon in the room, even though he was never allowed to operate on a living patient. In 1976, 32 years after that first blue baby operation, Johns Hopkins finally awarded Thomas an honorary doctorate. Not a medical degree, but a doctor of laws, because university restrictions wouldn't allow it. Still, from that day forward, he was called Dr. Thomas. His portrait now hangs beside Blalock's in Johns Hopkins Hospital. One of the medical school's 4 colleges bears his name, and the procedure he developed? It's still saving lives today, performed in operating rooms worldwide. So here's my question. How many black geniuses built the foundations of American achievement while being paid poverty wages and erased from history? How many are still being erased today? Drop your thoughts. And if this is the first time you're hearing Vivien Thomas's name, share it. Legends shouldn't stay hidden.